Alright, today I'm going to give you guys a detailed look at all four of these turtles, and these are by Threezero, and these are based off of the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movie. We have Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello. So let's go over each one of them. Alright, so let's start off with the turtle that is the most fragile, and it is Donatello. Now, the reason why he's like that is because all the gears that he has on, a lot of them are really thin, like these antennas back here. Those are really thin, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and there are wires running all around him. So here's what he looks like from the front, and he's the skinniest of them all too. And here's a side view. And his legs are a bit loose. These knee joints, they aren't as stiff as all the other ones, even though they are ratcheting joints, but these are not as stiff as the other three turtles. And here's the back side of him, and he has a huge backpack on, kind of like the Ghostbusters. It's in a weird looking way. Uh-oh, he's toppling over already because of the knees. So here's the back piece, very nice. And let's see if I can understand. Here's the other side, and again, these knees are really weak. As far as extra accessories, I am not exactly sure what these three pieces of plastic are. I guess one of them will kind of fit in this pouch there, but the rest of the two, it doesn't fit. And these two are for the bow staff. You could interchange with these shorter ones. And he also comes with gripping hands, a pair of gripping hands, a pair of relaxed hands, and a pair of fists. So let's get a closer look at Donatello. And here's what his face looks like without the glasses and the goggles. I'm not sure if the paint job is correct, but one of his eye, one of his pupils is looking way up than the other one. It's kind of weird. I mean, does he look like the turtle from the movie? Not so much. But overall, once you have the goggles on and the glasses, he looks fine, but it's just without it, he looks kind of weird. When I first took him out of the box, I was like, whoa, that looks a bit weird, but overall, he's pretty good looking. And here he has a walkie-talkie. I believe this is removable. I'll take that out in a sec. And 2 belts, kind of neat looking. And then he has these computer panels, these motherboards or some sort, strapped onto him. And these gauntlets and shoulder pads, these are removable because they're just held on by elastic. Same with the elbow pads. These, and this comp unit is also removable. Let's a good look at him. And actually the walkie-talkie is not removable, it is glued on there. Even though it's a separate piece, I guess if you really want to remove this, you can. But it's glued up in the, there's a dab of glue in the front here, so you're gonna have to break that off in order to remove this. But I don't plan on doing that. Wow, I just now realized that this is actually a power strip that's on his chest. You can see there are 4 plugs on him and wires running through it. This is awesome. And once again, here's that backpack. Now, when I first pulled this out of the box, the antenna came off, but it was fine. It wasn't broken or anything. It just wasn't glued on properly, so I was able to plug that back in. without any issues. But I guess if yours is glued down, then you gotta be really careful when you're messing with this guy, because you don't want these two pieces to break. And there's the backpack. Really nice looking, and paint job on it is really good. Look at the texture on the shell itself. It's really impressive. And as far as articulation, head is on a ball joint, and you can see this is how far up he could look. It is hindered by the shell itself, but he could definitely look down quite a bit. Here you can see he could actually look all the way down to the ground, which is very impressive for a figure like this. And shoulders are on a ratcheting ball hinge joint, and that's how far up it could go, and you kind of hear it. You can see the ratcheting joint, which is really stiff and nice. And the elbow is on a hinge joint. And it could go almost up to about 90 degrees. And wrists are on a ball joint. And as far as the chest, now this whole thing, it's a rubber piece. This whole chest, it's a rubber piece. And same with the arms, it's a rubber piece. Well, rubber over skeleton. And then here, a seam is right there, which is right there. It's running all across. It's covered up by the belt, but there is abdominal articulation there. Most likely it's a ball joint. And then the hips are covered up by his pants. I believe those are ball hinge joints. And then the knees are on a ball hinge, and the ankles are on a ball joint. Now Donatello is gonna give you a lot of problems as far as hips articulation, because these pants are so tight, and the skirt is also pretty tight. So as far as movement, it's not gonna give you a whole lot as far as bringing the legs up. The knees are, you get about almost 90 degrees, and rotating ankles. So as a figure overall, Donatello, it's not a terrible figure. It's just you have to be really careful with him, because there are a lot of intricate parts that you have to be careful when moving him around. Other than the weak knees, I'm okay with it, but they aren't like super weak, but they are a bit weak than your usual figures. Alright, next up is Leonardo, and here it is from the front. And from the side, and from the back. And as far as the paint job, I haven't had any issues with the turtles. I think my favorite is definitely Raphael, but otherwise the paint job on these turtles aren't bad at all. Because I have seen photos where Leonardo got really bad paint job, but I guess this one turned out okay. And I've seen pictures where people said there's a crack on his forehead, which I don't see. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. And here's a close-up of his head, which I don't see any problems with mine. Hopefully that's just an isolated incident. And the eyes are painted pretty nicely, actually. So let's get a good look at the rest of them. And he has a New York City pin on his belt there, and some stickers, some duct tape. And then here's the belt, and then these bamboo chest piece. And these rubber they're using, it feels a lot like if you have Hulk, then from Hot Toys, then it's very similar to that material. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but it is very similar, and the skeleton itself is pretty thick. Unlike some figures like the 3A stuff, because they have really skinny skeleton underneath rubber arms. but these are pretty thick, so so it doesn't feel very hollowed inside those arms there. And then sword. And these pants that he's wearing. Well, these are just coverings for the pants. Yeah, these are just coverings, and he's actually not wearing pants, but he does have these thigh pads, and they are squishy material, and he's actually wearing shoes. And one of my sword came undone. You can see there's the peg hole, and then there's a little peg there. I could always glue that back. It's not that big of a deal. And here, his sword could definitely go into the sheath. And let's take a good look at that turtle shell. You see, it took a lot of damages over however many years it's been around. Some really good paint job. And here's the sheath. There's some markings on it, carvings actually. And this one's nice too. Yeah, look at that shell. Really cool. And Leonardo never been my favorite. He's the leader of the group. But still a very good looking turtle. And next up we have Michelangelo, and he comes with nunchucks. These feel like wood, but they're not. They're actually plastic, but they do feel like wood. But when I use a little force, I could feel the bending. So yeah, definitely not wood, but it does feel like wood. And here's a good look at him from the front. And he comes with a couple of necklaces. You have to put it on him. And he also comes with this skateboard, which is awesome looking. And Michelangelo is the only one that's wearing pants. All the rest of the turtles aren't. And this is an actual shirt, that a sweater that's wrapped around him, which is awesome. And there's the back of him. And you can definitely get a good shot at this turtle shell. And here, there's more tape. And some straps. And he's got this little wrist thingy. Let's take a look at those shoes. Oh, it's got an M on it. And here's the skateboard. And the spring aren't working springs, so don't attempt to put pressure on the skateboard itself, because it might end up breaking it. And here's the bottom of the board. Paint job on it is really good. It looks really dirty and grimy. For me, I wish all the turtles would have hard plastic joints, like arms and legs, without having the rubberized sleeves over their actual arms, because I think over time these things will break, and who knows when that's gonna happen. And I just wish they were hard plastic instead of these rubber. But still, for the time being, this is an awesome looking turtle. Let's get a closer look at Michelangelo's head sculpt. Now these eyes are a little bit weird. I'm not sure if that's how he is supposed to be. I think in the film he does look kind of weird too, as far as the eyes and facial expression. But it looks... I'm not sure whether this is dead on accurate or not, but it looks a bit weird to me. There's the top of its head, no cracks whatsoever. I'm okay with it. And oh, it looks like he has a seatbelt on, which is nice. And then this pair of sunglasses is not removable. It's attached to the necklace. But the sweatshirt is. Same with the straps and everything. Those are all removable. And Michelangelo also comes with a pair of relaxed hands and a pair of fists. And articulation is exactly the same as all the other turtles. Yeah, ball jointed head, and then shoulders are ball hinge, elbows hinge joints, wrists are ball joint, and chest, waist, knees, and ankles, all those. Same exact articulation. Now, with him wearing pants, it does limit his articulation quite a bit. Here, this is about how far his legs could bend forward, and then as far as the knees, I could go a little further back, but not a whole lot more. Actually, you could get about 90 degrees, but look at those rubber pants. It's gonna crease up like crazy and looks extremely ugly once you do that. Alright, I was trying to move his neck and this whole thing popped off, and here you can see the head, there is a ball joint, but that one is really tight. I couldn't even move it. But this one around base of the neck is another ball joint. That's how he was able to look down really or looking straight down onto the ground because of the double ball joint. There's one down here and then one up there. And then side to side movement, it's quite good. I'm very happy with the articulation for these turtles. And lastly, my favorite turtle of them all is Raphael, and this thing is amazing. Just look at how cool he looks. Now, he does have a pair of sunglasses, and it is removable. You could get him to wear them. And there's the rest of them. He comes with the least amount of props. And the only thing that he comes with are these two sides, and a pair of fists, and that's it. No relaxed hands either. So yeah, but he looks awesome. Look at that. Raphael is definitely my favorite. And same thing, rubber arms, rubber chest, and yeah, articulation is exactly the same as all the other turtles. And there's the backside, and he's definitely the cleanest of them all as far as how much stuff he's wearing. And there are two loops here, back here on the belt, for you to put the side in. He's got a little skirt thing going on. And as far as articulation, he could definitely give you the best range because he doesn't have any stuff whatsoever impeding with the articulation. As, you can see the arms are pretty much clean, and yeah, the knees and the hips, nothing around there to hinder the articulation whatsoever. And he also has these really stiff elbow joints, ratcheting elbow joints. You can hear it's really stiff, which is something I like. And same with the knees, ratcheting joints. And as far as range of motion, you can see the knees can go about that far up, and then the hips, the thighs, they can go about that far up, and then the knees almost 90 degrees. If you fix those knee pads a little bit, you should get them to bend his knee a little bit more. And one thing I noticed is that his ankle joints are really shallow as far as where the socket is. You can see it's almost just half halfway cut, and it does come apart quite easily when you're trying to pose him. Like if you have his legs spread a bit, and the ankle might pop off if you're trying to get his feet to be stable and flat on the ground. So at the end of the day, if you were to get one, I definitely recommend Raphael, because that is the best one out of the four, the coolest looking one. And Michelangelo is kind of cool too, in a goofy sort of way. But if I were to only get one, definitely Raphael, and my second choice would be Michelangelo. And then third, maybe Leonardo, and Donatello would be last. Initially, when I first got these, I got them through Threezero's website, and they had all four as a package. It cost about a little less than if you buy them separately. After I made the purchase, I was definitely having a buyer's remorse, because you're actually paying so much for these turtles here. But after I got them in hand, I am very happy I made the purchase, because they do look really cool. And as far as paint job, I don't have any issues with them. They do look grimy and dirty, which is how they're supposed to look. And but as far as defects, I don't see anything on mine. But I haven't messed with these guys for quite a long time yet. So after maybe some photos, I might discover something. But for the time being, I'm very happy with the four that I got. And yeah, so there you go. These are the four Ninja Turtles from Threezero. Thanks for watching.